After hearing testimony the night before from county taxpayers, Washington County School District Board of Education took a vote on their newly proposed tax collection for schools.
So that motion carries and passes unanimously.
In less than 24 hours, the school board passed the long-term commitment, which keeps the tax rate from raising from 2022 levels without a vote of the people. The justification is to level off taxes in the future, collecting interest instead of paying it on new construction.
This will freeze it so that you can't collect more money year over year going forward without going through an arduous process. As we look at the budget every single year, the board reapproves those tax rates. With a ceiling, I can't go above this, but I can adopt a lower tax rate.
Because the one that floats is the one that pays for the debt.
Correct.
And that's the one we're trying to eliminate.
That's the
so that
right
we
here.
Can freeze it so that it can't float
anymore. It can't float up anymore. Exactly.
We're trying to make it so that it will never float up again in this new plan.
About 300 county taxpayers turned out at the Washington County School District's Truth in Taxation hearing on Monday night to hear more about the tax initiative proposal. The district's Board of Education members were present as well. Business Administrator Brent Bills explained the anticipated need for capital funds to build and maintain new schools over the next 12 years at a cost of nearly $756 million.
We still have a lot of people coming in. We still have a lot of growth in our schools, our brick and mortar schools.
We are anticipating we will have 37,300 children in Washington County School District on October 1 when we submit our numbers to the state. That is up from 36,600 that we ended the 2022-2023 school year with.
The plan is to continue collecting the same tax over the next 12 years through the year 2034, creating a capital fund to build all future schools using cash.
The state is very clear on where we can invest this. It's called PTIF. I believe that stands for Public Treasurer's Investment Fund, and it's a fund established to guarantee the safety of the funds being invested. And that fund right now is averaging about 4 to 4.5% return on its investment.
The proposed plan restructures the bond debt into a capital fund which will draw interest instead of paying interest.
We've been paying tens of millions of dollars a year in interest on those bonds, even at these really low interest rates. So in 2022, we paid $10.6 million in interest on the bonds. That amount of interest would just continually go up and be a lot higher. If a bond election fails, there's no way to meet your capital needs.
There are many school districts this last year that were not able to pass their bonds, and so they are having to do true tax increases to compensate for that in order to accommodate the growth they're facing. And so they're looking very closely at what we're doing.
By combining the debt service levy into the certified tax levy, the board would collect a more steady tax amount each year from the taxpayer without having to go to a vote of the people with a bond levy. However, they also wouldn't be able to raise that rate without going to a vote of the board.
The board cannot guarantee anything for the future board, but what we can say is this: if we come out to you, if we do this, the board does this, and then they come and ask you for a bond election, don't vote for it.
In Washington County last year, the average home assessed at around 2.7% higher. Under the tax initiative, some property taxpayers will see a slight decrease in the market value rate, while others will see an increase. However, under the current market or assessed value, all would see a decrease this year.
It is concerning that our taxes will not decrease without board action. The public deserves to vote. If all of these new people are coming into the state, why are we raising our taxes by 45%?
Is those new people that move in do bring some additional tax dollars, some new tax dollars in, which pay for the maintenance and operation. It just isn't enough to pay for the construction as well.
Taxpayers were given 3 minutes to voice their concerns during the meeting, but questions weren't allowed.
We're answering questions all along through this process. We've been meeting in different communities and on an individual basis through emails and phone calls. I would refer you to our business administrator or to our PR guy after the meeting if your questions haven't been answered.
Perhaps there's emails that are coming out. I'm sorry not getting them. I'm guessing the majority of people aren't getting them, and I'm sure a lot of the senior citizens here probably aren't communicating through email. So that might be something that we need to address, because I certainly didn't know. There was an opportunity to ask questions and get some response back and forth.
The Declaration of Independence, one of the grievances that they had was that they had been imposed taxes on without their consent. Another one was over mock trials, and I am afraid to say that I feel like this is a mock trial because I know all of you have agreed to pass it when I sat in that meeting with you guys, and you all agreed that you'd pass this no matter what anybody said. That's a huge concern for me.
My taxes went up 25% last year. So if this proposed tax goes in effect in 2024, our taxes will go up another $300. So it's hurting.
Looks like my taxes are going to be almost $90 a month. I'm on fixed income. That's a heavy hit for me.
I really think that the school board at this point needs to represent the people that are trusting them to make the best decisions for us and, cut expenses like we all have and give us representation for what we're doing. And please don't take our voice away.
And I get that you have things, you have budgets, things that you need to meet, and I understand that. But what I'm hoping is that we still have a voice to be able to say, hey, this tax doesn't keep going up. When does it stop?
Because it's infrastructure, if we're going to grow and put a bunch of homes in an area, take half of that capital levy and build it into the cost of developers who want to develop.
The checks and balances I'm talking about, you have to stick to your budget, and I don't believe you can. I don't believe you will.
Families are tightening their belt. I'm tightening my belt. Things aren't going the way it used to be. Take a look at your budget, see where you could tighten the belt. Think about the families in your district.
And now we have digital marquees all over the place and no one even looks at them. I drop my kids to 3 different schools. I never even read those things. I just get an email. So maybe let's be a little bit more wise about some of our spending.
The rates will only require the board vote and not the public vote. So you're ensuring total and complete control, and you're not entirely activating the plan while risking future actions of boards.
We could also collect some interest if that money was with us as opposed to with you.
There were a few present who supported the tax initiative and agreed to give the board full authority over the next decade.
I trust our elected board to continue to put the needs of our students first while practicing conservative financial principles that most of us believe in and try to live in our own lives. We can do this by supporting the tax initiative. Please keep the momentum going for our students.
We have had the opportunity to have the school district present this tax initiative to our PTA leadership multiple times. We have voted as a board and are in favor of moving forward with this. We can honestly say that it is in the best interest of our growing school district and our children, as well as myself as a taxpayer, who, interestingly enough, I look back in 2021, it was 0.0043. It has gone down over the last couple of years.
School board trustees said they promised to look for ways to cut the budget over the next year in order to help ease the cost to taxpayers.
And if we save $10 here, $50 here, $1,000 here, it adds up to $700,000 or something. Does that make sense? If we looked at 5% of all of our budgets.
Because there's always opportunities for us to improve and to save money and to find things that we can cut, things that maybe are not as necessary that we could possibly do without.
Some of you are concerned that it would be 12 years until it got revisited. No, it's by law, it has to be revisited every year. Some of you pointed out, well, I've never seen a tax go down. Okay, I'm a taxpayer, that's a fair statement. But we know it can't go up. It can't go up without a hearing.
A lot of the passion and a lot of the feelings about voting bond issues in particular really struck home for me. And I realized more than I had before that this is really two policies that are in conflict with each other. And when we're elected, we have to choose. Sometimes we have to choose tough things.
From the Washington County School District, Melissa Anderson, Community Education News.